Reddit stories.
Late husband's estranged abusive parents are demanding access to my unborn son. I am a 30-year-old woman who lost my husband to cancer last year. We'd always wanted kids, so we had some of his sperm frozen for a later date. Sadly, he lost his battle and passed away. I am now in a place where I feel capable mentally of taking care of a child myself, and it was a success. I am expecting a little boy. My husband's parents somehow got wind of this and are constantly demanding that they be allowed in my son's life, as he will be the last part of their son. The thing is though, my husband had nothing to do with his parents. Growing up they were emotionally abusive to him and he got out of there as soon as he could. He hadn't spoken to them in 10 years, and when it became clear things were taking a nosedive, he made sure I knew he didn't want them at the funeral. I do not think he'd want them in our son's life at all either, so I'm trying to respect his wishes, but family and friends are telling me I should give them a chance. That perhaps they have changed and now this could be a second chance for them. Perhaps it's cruel, but I don't want my son to be a guinea pig to trial run if they're better. Is it an asshole move to not give them the chance to prove themselves and deny them contact with my son? My own parents have said how if the positions were reversed it'd break their hearts to be kept from my child. They have suggested supervised visits, but I am against even that. I'm feeling under so much stress about this as they're constantly messaging my social media, and I've had to block them, and they've even been coming to my home to try and convince me.
Story 2. Brother committed fraud. Entitled stepmom tried to yell at me for it. Players here are me, entitled stepmom, and my half-brother. Background: my half-brother is a drug addict and has stolen from pretty much everyone in the family. My dad and stepmom we're separated and living in different states, and my brother lived with dad. I live in a different state. My dad is a holy roller, so most of my family is super conservative. I'm not at all conservative. Since my bro can't hold down a job, I paid for his cell phone so we have a way to contact him. Otherwise, he'd disappear and no one would hear from him for months at a time. He asked me if I could add his GF to my plan. I said fine, but they needed to buy their own phones. I started the process. They were supposed to buy the phones and have them activated. I got a call from my brother saying they can't activate the phone. I tell him to have the store call me. He said they can't. I called my provider and they said he shouldn't have a problem activating. I call him back and tell him that. This goes on for 2 full days. He keeps trying to get me to add him as an authorized user. He must have called me dozens of times. I finally got sick of the calls and called my phone company and said add him as an authorized user, only to activate the phone, and then to immediately remove him. I specifically said he is not allowed to make any purchases. She assured me that this would be done. A few weeks later and I look at my phone bill. They charged 2 brand new iPhones, extra chargers, charging pads, cases, screen protectors, on my bill. I call the phone company. They said he was added, so there's nothing they can do. I call my brother and he laughed. I told him to take all that shit back right away. He said no. We argued. He got pissed and said now I'm not paying it back at all and that he hopes it tanks my credit. I told him go fuck yourself in the ass with a spiked dildo and hung up. 5 minutes later my stepmom calls me up and said I need to apologize to my brother for what I said. I laughed and said I'll apologize when he takes the phone back. She said he's not going to. He deserves it because of what I said. I'm a horrible sister, yada yada yada. She called me every name in the book. I told her I'd be pressing charges for fraud and she can go fuck herself in the ass with a spiked dildo, too. I called my phone company and raised hell. Luckily they took notes and someone saw the part about no purchases, so they reversed the charges for that. They immediately disconnected the lines and flagged the phones as stolen so they can't be used. My dad approached me about what I said, but surprisingly was not mad. He said he didn't approve of the language, but he approved of the message. Thanks for watching. Like if you want more.